We're live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is the most impractical cup, but I love it so much that it doesn't matter. I just have to be extra careful not to spill. All right, so I did something. Notice how the mannequins blink. Projects often look worse before they get better, and when you are in the visual field of creating visual products, sometimes it's hard to show people as you're going because you let go of things and anyways, I don't know what I'm saying, but I ripped off the collar. Yeah. It was bothering me. It wasn't right. It was close. And this French fry is not going to be wasted. It is buckram covered in velvet, so I feel like there's something I could do with this. I don't know. But this thing is no longer a collar. It is just my little velvet hat. Or just, I'm using the pattern. I am not going to use this. I know, all this hand stitching. It didn't go to waste, I learned. And with sewing, you kind of have to not get too attached to your seams because you always have to rip them out. But I did go to the store and I got all the things that I needed. So I have no excuses on not to go on to the next steps because I know I definitely have been holding myself back, waiting till I had more card, basically. I really needed a lot more. And I went to Costco and I got so much card and I used it all up already. What, Spooky? No, that's not yours. Spooky loves the cardboard. It is all over here. I traced all my pattern pieces onto it. I did not do that live because the pieces are ginormous and I'm spread out all over the floor. My patterns are here. My finished pieces are there and my scraps are right there. No, I'm not going to show you. It's a little bit too messy to share. But Big Bob's Profits is here. Welcome. Hello. And Mariah Woods. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Felicia. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Hope there's no zombies taking over. So let me show you what I've done and what I plan to do today. So first things first, I ripped off the collar. Oh my gosh, the pink is looking so pretty today on camera. I love how this pink always looks so different. And then when I have it near this pink, it just reds it. Or, depending on what pink it's near, the color changes. Anyways, I took off the collar. I was considering adding more fullness, more flare to the back. But when I started into the skirt, I thought I had so much fabric to play with. I thought I got myself a couple extra yards. I'm going to be okay. No, I tweaked my skirt design this much. And now I want like 4 more yards of this velvet. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to waste fabric now. So this fabric will get used, but I'm not going to add more flare to it. I'm going to keep it as is, but on the blue one, I'm going to add flare. What do I mean by that? I will show you, but that's the first thing. This got ripped apart. This is no longer attached, but this is still going to happen. I'm just using a different fabric. And then let me get that. Oh, no, let me put this over here. Okay. I have a giant donut. Okay, So this is my skirt pattern. I need 3 of these circles so they overlap in a spiral. It's gonna be fun. I have 2 of the circles cut out and safety pinned together. So this is not going to have any seams. Well, it is going to have seams, but any closures. I was going to originally do a zipper, but then I'm going to do 3 twirls. There's only 2 twirls currently attached, but 3 twirls of this fabric, and it does some really fun stuff. Isn't this awesome? I love it. I want to do 3 twirls though, and I'm up to 2. And I know I have enough fabric for 2 twirls, but I want to see if I can get that 3rd twirl in there. So this skirt pattern I did way back in the live streams. Sorry, put that down. That skirt pattern I did on the live stream where I went through my portfolio, one of my portfolios, and it's twirling around like it's a ballerina skirt. My pattern's over here. So this is my pattern that I worked with, and then I tweaked it to turn it into a spiral, so it's not quite this shape, but it still has all the mathematics built in because this needs to fit a certain size range, and this was the absolute maximum size that I could get this circle. If I could have gotten it 4 inches bigger in the circumference, I would have, but the fabric, the card, everything, this is my limit. It's okay. It's pretty intense, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I got 2 twirls cut out. I have 1 more twirl cut out. I have it traced onto my fabric so I could figure out where my pattern pieces were going to be, but I haven't cut them out because there is a right side and a wrong side. It's not a symmetrical circle in order to get it to spiral. So it's ever so slight, but if you don't do it the right way, it doesn't do the swirl right. Anyways, fun times. Giant pattern pieces. It's my favorite part. So I have the skirt, 1 more piece of the interfacing to cut out, and all the fabric, but I really want to see if I can 1 more twirl in there. But circles, they take up so much fabric. Circle skirts are gorgeous. They're fun. They're the ones that you spin around in and they go straight out. Love circle skirts, but oh my gosh, do they eat fabric. The 45th clown is here. Afternoon to you and Spooky. Spooky, yes. I've spelled it both ways. He answers to both. He hasn't told me which one he prefers, but when he does, I will let you know. But I accept both spellings and any others that look adorable. Okay, this bothers me. I should just tape it up. I don't want to though. Not yet. Anyways, I have to cut out the card, and then I have the bodice cut out. Alright, so this is upside down. Ta-da! Visual aids. You guys can hardly see that, but this is the pattern we figured out last time. I think it's really interesting the way the shape ended up, because when this spreads, this line lines up with this line, and it gives it the right shape. It's not a flat object, it's a curved object. So I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to trace it, and I'm going to do some pattern tweaking before I cut it out of fabric. Where are my crappy scissors? These ones do cut cardboard very well, but these ones. Got DJ Stumpy here. Hello, how you doing? I am cutting cardboard. Let's see if I can move my tuck. I'm just going to start hacking away at this thing because it's ginormous, and my scrap pile is the furthest pile away from me. That's okay. I've been here. Let me go this way. I have my rotary cutter, but I prefer the precision of my scissors. I'm glad this isn't like fabric and I don't have to worry about the edges hanging off. Because never cut fabric with the edges hanging off the table. You'll regret your life and it'll pull everything funky. Let me get all the biggest parts cut off so that it's easier to manage because this is ridiculous. So good morning. How is everybody doing today? What time of the day is it for you? I know it's nice and bright and early here in the West Coast. I see a lot of people I recognize. So welcome. .46 p.m. Not bad, Big Bob's Pop here on the East Coast. Almost a manageable size. Okay, Mariah Woods, I'm doing well. Finally caught your live stream. We got another zombie alert, this time in Los Angeles and Fresno. Okay. Seems about right. Makes sense. I don't think those are going to get under control. Have you been to Fresno? 45th Clown, 1647 here in the UK, knocked out of work early to catch the stream. Oh, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. H7 Polo, saying hola, amiga. Hola, how are you guys doing? I stayed up way too late last night playing video games. I know, I never play video games, but there's this new video game I just got. And I wonder if you guys know which one it is. It's the one where you're a Viking Sims character. It's like Sims, but it's with Vikings, and you build houses, and there's these goblin creatures that attack you. Anyways, I'm still in the Stone Age, trying to work my way to the Iron Age. DJ Stumpy, I'm doing well. Just going to sit back and see if I can get some tips. Maybe you have the top 10 newbies watching this. Reminded me I need to purchase left-handed scissors. Yeah, my aunt has left-handed scissors, and it's a game changer for her. I'm naturally left-handed, at least I want to be left-handed, but I've always, like, everybody took the scissors and put them in my other hand, so I'm right-hand dominant, but I want to use my left hand, but I can switch back and forth, which is very convenient when you're like in a tricky place. But yes, I really wish I could have just been left-handed. It would have like saved my brain so many twists and turns, but I feel like there are benefits, but I definitely appreciate the left-handed scissors. They were always the sharp ones at school because nobody else could use them, and so I would use them if I could. Okay, I'm not cutting anything underneath there. So guys, I was thinking I had an idea for my next kind of series on this live stream when these weird dresses are done, which they're going to be a bit. It's going to be a minute. But I want to dissect fashion. Mainly, I want to dissect a suit, starting from the top to the shoes, taking apart a tie, just getting a seam ripper and ripping it apart and explaining the anatomy of a tie. Like we're doing a frog dissection, but we'll dissect the tie, the suit jacket, the shirt, the dress shirt. I'll pull it apart. I'll point out like, here's their marking holes so that they could line up where the pocket goes. This is the top of the dart. I thought it would be interesting just to dissect fashion a little bit. H7 Polo, cool idea, get a spacesuit eventually. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these armholes. Hold on. Need more space. "45th Clown, I like that idea. Good plan for a series." Thank you. DJ Stumpy's in on that. Wolverine Scratch made it. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. One armhole. I left 1-inch placards on either side. This one's got a little cut off because the cardboard's only so big, and I added that last minute right before I cut it out. Well, after I had already traced it. And I want to see if I can do this closure different than the way I plan on doing the other bodice's closure. Thinking of doing an overlap and snaps. Okay. Ah! I don't want to spill this. This is such a wonky cup. It's like an off, it's like a tilted oval eclipse. Anyway, it's a spilly cup. Okay. Over and scratch. I'm seeing more of Felicia than my wife these days. I'm sorry. See your wife more. But I have been getting a few live streams in, but that's because I have to finish this project. And I'm trying to take you guys along for the ride. I feel way more at ease not doing this live because honestly, when I'm doing commission works, I hate showing the clients before I'm at a stage where if they see it and they go, I like it, don't change a thing, I don't get stuck because sometimes it'll look good, but then it's just a placeholder and I'm planning something different. And anyways, when you have visual things in your head, people don't see what's in your head, they see what's actually tangibly out there. And it's worse before it's better. And I don't like people seeing it at my projects at the worst. And at the beginning, they're worse because they're still in the patterning phase. They're still in the tinkering phase. Like I ripped off this whole collar because it wasn't working. It was working. I figured out the pattern, but it wasn't working. All that hand stitching I did, whatever. You have to let it go. But yeah. Okay. I have this figured out. There is a cross in the front. I only need it on one side. I don't need it on both sides. I'm going to take it off at the side where it's nicked at the corner. I know, like, there's you put the buttons on the left side or the right side, depending on whether you're doing a men's shirt or a woman's shirt. And women's clothing, you can switch it back and forth on either side, but men working at a costume shop, I have learned a lot of guys will like get very confused when you switch it. When you put it on the other side, you put a man in a woman's blouse. I've seen a lot of people just kind of get stuck in the dressing room, just like kind of like their brain stopped. Like, why isn't this working? You know, muscle memory isn't working. It's taking over. Like, it's a interesting thing when you switch the sides and you never know that there's a side. But when you put it on the wrong side, people notice, even if they don't notice that's what's going on. But this is a lady's garment, so I don't have to stress which side I put it on because it originated if you're getting dressed or if you're dressing someone or dressing yourself. The way my teacher told me how she remembers it, she's like, all right, if you're sitting in a car and the guy's driving a car, he can reach over and get into her shirt and she can reach over and get into his shirt so that they're facing the right way. And I'm like, never going to forget which side the shirt placket, which side it overlaps anymore. Random information, but it makes a difference. I've seen lots of people struggle because they can't figure out what's not working. And it's just the buttons are on the wrong side. Yeah. Let me get this off. I'm seeing like a green circle from the light while I'm trying to cut on a straight line. I'm just blinding myself. Nijdi says, hi Felicia, happy Friday. What's the most extravagant dress you've made or designed? Okay, Tyler Park's music video, she, typical girl, there is a dress that is 15 feet tall, big giant pink parachute skirt. We had her standing on top of a ladder with like at least 5 people sitting underneath the dress, holding it down with a giant air blower blowing up the skirt. I would say that's kind of the most extra dress I've worked on. I sewed that whole skirt in lots of pink satin. So much pink satin. I covered that whole room in pink satin. And then I made the skirt to match. A lot of fun. I think that's the most extravagant giant dress I've made. As far as extravagant, that's a hard one. I've done a lot of weird things, but I feel like that's the biggest, the one that comes to the top of my head. There's breathing room in this one for sure. I love that you can pin through. Let me just adjust this angle ever so slightly so y'all can see a little bit better. Some more head space. Doesn't make any difference. I don't know. Okay. Okay. I already cut out a collar because these things were ginormous and each one of these took a full sheet because I had to do it on the diagonal and barely fit them in. These pieces are huge. Yes, that's why. I'm like, it's not lining up. They're not lining up. But that's because it comes out before it comes there. So it has to finish the slope. Sometimes I look at my patterns and I go, that's a funny shape. Oh yeah, I remember why I did that shape. Yeah. Really wide. I need to mark my center backs. I thought I marked this one, but apparently I didn't. I don't want to do a crease on it because that would be too permanent, but ever so slightly just at the top. Hi, Spooky. How you doing? Now you guys can't even see my work table. Okay. It's a fine line of what I can share with you guys. Okay, so I marked my center back so I can line it all up. Yeah, I think this is going to work out great. All right, we're not done yet because the inside of the fabric can be this tight, but I want the outside of this to see how my shirt is blousy and draped and kind of tucked in to my waistband. I want to tuck in the fabric into the waistband. I want it to be this crazy silhouette, but I want it to look like it's just a tucked in dress shirt more like. But I need a big giant piece of paper for that. Hopefully this is big enough. Spooky's just staring at me like I'm a crazy person. Granda's Jack is here. Good morning. What, Spooky? need it all. That's just my pincushion. I love this magnetic pincushion, and I love this table that it has this magnetic bar all around it, so I can work all around it and clear my table and still have it at my disposal. Do you guys hear Spooky meowing in the background? He wants something and is annoyed that I'm not following him. Oh, this. Okay. Dang it. I was hoping it would. This one's wider and bigger than the other one, so. Let me put my fabric the other way. Fabric, my paper. I'm used to working on giant tables. This piece of paper big enough? If it's not, another roll. Please be big enough. I don't think it is. Nope. All right. Dan does junk. The cardboard seems to hold its shape well. If you could use that instead. That is the plan, my man. So at first I was rejecting the cardboard, even though I know it's exactly what I wanted, because I was feeling that I could get it done with the buckram and wire and all these other extra steps. But in reality, if you pull a purse apart, it's that exact same cardstock inside of it, making that shape and support. You sew through it. And I was thinking about it. This isn't going to be like a normal wear and tear or item. Even the velvet alone, I can't just wash it. There's all these special treatments and things. I can iron the cardboard. I can't iron the velvet. So there's like this. I'm not opposed to using this cardstock as my interlining to really get that crisp shape. And once it's fully lined in the fabric, you're not even going to know that there's card inside of it. And it's going to have that nice crisp shape. And I'm still going to sew through it. I'm still going to cut it. And yeah, I was going to add zippers because I can. And then I realized I wanted snaps for the front instead. For this one, the other one, I'm going to do it in a different. There's all sorts of different closure options. It's up to you what you feel like doing. I know some people absolutely hate zippers. Some people can't stand buttons. Some people, I don't know, just elastic waistbands are the best. Okay, I need more paper, more paper, more paper. I don't know which to know. This one big enough? Oh no. This is my sprightly page. Alright, well, you know what? We're going to do a half a pattern because it's symmetrical. And it'll fit on my paper and it'll fit on my table. It is what it is. Austin Lips, welcome. Hi everyone, and Felicia, how's your day going so far? I'm here, it's morning, I have all my supplies, and I have a plan, I kind of know what I'm doing-ish. Oh, Oh, Dan Does Junk, my giveaway ended today and a winner has been chosen. That's awesome. So if you want to see who won the Bean Saver Dan at Dan Does Junk created, go check out his channel, Dan Does Junk on YouTube. Yes. Yay, Dan, that's exciting. Okay, that's my cut edge. This edge is a straight line, that edge is a straight line. Why do I point this out? Well, because when I square up from my edge, this line's straight and I can trust it to be straight, and I can square up using my ruler and give myself a clean guideline. It helps me orient where I'm at so that I can always use the edges as a guide point. So much better. Okay. So I am going to go this way. That's the plan. And I want as much this way as I can. I don't need as much excess on this side. Why is that? Because I am going to leave this neckline. I need to keep this exactly as is, but I'm adding fullness and flare to this side of the garment. So I want to have my excess on here. And if I say it out loud, I remember. And if I don't say it out loud, I can easily, and I traced it down here. And I'm like, why don't I have any extra paper to work with? It's because I worked myself into a corner. I do that all the time. But you're here listening to me rant. Might as well tell you what my thought process is. Okay. I want my big ruler. It'll make this process go way faster. Dan Does Junk. Understandable, Felicia. I do that all the time with foam. But I tend to have a bad habit of using new pieces instead of scraps, which I really need to use instead. I 100% get that. In foam and paper, I suppose, there's no grain line, so it's not as imperative. But you can also square off and then square off from your space. But orientation-wise, I know that's a straight line, and I know that's a straight line, and that one's not. And I need to make this one a straight line. And then that will be my guideline, and I'll trace my pattern from there. So I line it up so that it's following the edge perfectly, not tilted one way or the other. I want it actually up here, so something you guys can see. Austin Lips, my mom sent the envelope to UPS. It might come out to you in Odin in time, hopefully for the live stream. Yeah, that's this Sunday, isn't it? Today's Friday, Saturday, Sundays, a couple days. If not, sure, we'll be ready for the next live stream, because not only is it, will it get there in time, it's whether Odin has a chance to get to the P.O. box. Straight line, straight line. A straight guideline now. And my paper was totally not straight, but that's okay. Need slightly more space. Let's clear this off. I have what I call my Barney bag here of all the random craft supplies that I have been using. get you guys a little bit better angle of the table. Hello. See what I'm doing. See what you guys can see. It's a little bit better, my table. All right. Sorry if I chop off my head. Skew towards the top. Let me grab a bed marker. Look at my favorite story. Schultz Division is here. Hello, Schultz Division. Welcome. Austin lives. I'm excited to celebrate my brother's birthday celebration tomorrow. We're going to grill out some food like I call Mexican meat yummy food. I'm going to do some carne asada. Sounds delicious. That is definitely something to look forward to. My little brother's coming over today, so I get to hang out with him, which is exciting. Notch that right there. And notch it at the center back. Notch it there. Need ever so slightly more space. Okay. I'm going to use a different color to show you my changes, okay? So this is the skeleton and the shape that we are going to start with. But my plan, yeah, let me cut it out, slash it, and then we'll tape it down and then trace it again. We're tangible patterning today. It's because that's how I want to figure out this problem. Where are my, I want to cut paper with my scissors. I cleaned up and can't find anything. Oh, I'll use these ones. Okay. this is so twirly. I'm going to have to twirl it the other way so that it stops doing this. Scissors or slice. Yep. It's very satisfying to slice through this. I know I'm not talking, but I'm getting stuff done. It's almost cut out. This wants to be all twirly, but it's okay. Now, just wave it around. See if it'll behave. Okay, much better. A little dramatic there. Let me just... Okay, I haven't cut out my armhole yet. I'm going to. I'll do that in a second. Let me pick out a different color marker real quick. I have an orange one right here, and I'm not going to use it. I want a different color. Dayglow green. Yeah. Okay, so last time, I just kind of went to the center front and added my fullness here. That kept it tight fitting here and had more excess here, and it wasn't evenly distributed. So it wasn't as much flare as I wanted. I can also kind of come out here straight down and fix that angle, but I want to kind of do an even flare throughout, and I want to add a pleat to the back. Is it a pleat? Yeah, it's a pleat. I was like, is it technically a tuck? No, because I'm not sewing it down. I'm just pleating it at the top. So I want to add a pleat to this back part. I want to add fullness throughout this part and on both of these ends. So let me cut out this armhole real quick. So, because this is kind of the tricky part we're working around. And this pattern piece is going to start to look even weirder. I know it's really weird now, but let me label it so we kind of know where we're at and where we're going. And there's definitely a nap to this fabric. So there is an up and a down. So let me add markings so we know where we are. Like keeping the selvage edges and the straight edges in mind for reference where you're on the foam or fabric. Also, guidelines and grain lines really help you keep reference of where you're at on your pattern. So this is our center front, and this is our center back. And then the grain line, I'll draw in. I don't want to use the green for the grain line. And this is our center back. And then the grain line, I'll draw in. I don't want to use the green for the grain line because I'll just use different color for my slicing and spreading. And right now, just saying it out loud, there's no seam allowance right now. This is only the pattern, no seam allowance. So when I do my final pattern, I'm going to have to add seam allowance. So I made a grain line with the little arrows pointing to the side, meaning that this is on a fold. So this is only half of my pattern and there's no seam here. It's just a fold. Okay. First thing I want to do is I want to add my pleat. I want to add I always second guess myself when it comes to pleat math because you have to fold it over and count the folds and it changes everything. So I have it like this and once I fold it in. So I'd be adding 2 inches because it'd be an inch here. 1 inch. I love patterning, but you can easily math out pleats, but then they can get so complicated in the field, if that makes sense. When I did the Princess Leia tucks on the helmet, oh my gosh, figuring out that math because I had to figure out where I sewed the line and then it folded over at that center part. So then you had to count the top and then the fold over and fold over. So if it was 1 centimeter, half a centimeter under, half a centimeter under, but then it also has to go out. So it's 1, 2, so that's a full centimeter. And then there's a centimeter on top and then centimeter folded under. And so then you have to make sure that you add that math up all the way down because if you get off, you might find yourself short. But yeah, whey. So just a long enough piece of paper. Tis a tis. Okay, I'm just gonna tape it in place. You know what? I do actually have real tape. I was gonna use my painter's tape, but I have actually good tape in my Barney bag over here. Oops. Okay. Oh, I'm almost out of this tape. That's okay. We'll be fine. I have tons of tape. I want this to go. Yes, Dan does junk. It's so much easier to do that with cardboard than foam. I have to lay it out in the sun. Yeah, heat's your friend. You can even iron paper, cardboard. It takes the heat very well. Don't use the steam. It'll warp it. Foam, I would just use the steam and not the iron. In a second, I'm just going to switch this tape out and pop in some new tape. Oh, thought that was going to fit. Oh, well. I still have a cutting surface. That's the important part. Okay. I'm going to measure out 2 inches. Ah, I don't have enough. I thought I did. I do. Just at a bad angle. There we go. Okay. I know, cut off all of that to add this back on. Don't worry, we're going to cut this all up and tape it all down gonna get ugly before it gets better. But line that up. I'm gonna mark. I'm just gonna use the green. I have all the marker colors. It's a noodle. I tried to make matching noodle earrings for my noodle shirt. Pink it is. Okay. This is still the center back and it's still on the fold. I just moved the center back over because now this is going to fold. Okay, so you guys can see it on Okay, so what did I just do? I added 4 inches of extra fabric at the waistline and tucked it at the center back. So you know on a dress shirt how you have that pleat in the center back of a dress shirt? It's so that you have breathing room as you go down towards your hips and waist, and it's just added fullness and it gives you movability. And so since this is a weird design based off of a men's dress shirt, I'm putting that pleat in the back. And I add 2 inches to the back because it's going to be an inch overhang on either side. But none of this will be counted into this. So onto it perfectly. But 4 inches of ease isn't enough. I kind of want more than that. So I'm going to do a couple radial lines just to really keep it as even as possible. I'm going to go about 2 inches from center front. What is my rhyme and reason for putting these lines where I'm putting them? Because I feel like this is where the fullness is going to be laid pretty, is my basic answer. Actually, that one over about an inch. Okay, I have all these lovely lines. What are these lovely lines for? All right, so we added fullness with this pleat here, but I want to add fullness to this part, but I want to leave this exactly the same so it sews up together. So I am going to slice this all the way up along here and spread it out to add my fullness, and it's going to change this shape, but it will line up perfectly. So I need to put that down on another piece of paper and then trace that pattern and cut it out. Husk, welcome Husk. So they add material to men's shirt so it opens, or like pinch it higher to give it shape. Okay, so I think this is going to be a great series if I do dissect clothing, because men's clothing is super simply complicated. Like, it's so simple but so complicated for weird reasons. There's a reason why you have a yoke, why it's cut on the bias in ports, and why it's cut straight of grains in the other. The back, it needs to tuck into your shirt. It needs to tuck into your pants. It needs to sit in your pants when you're standing or sitting. Polo shirts have that extra little flap so that you could ride a horse while wearing your shirt, and that keeps things tucked in. And you need ease, which is breathing room, wiggle room, movement room, but also sometimes you need it to fit nice and fitted, and your shoulders are wider than your waist and your hips, and your waist is smaller than your hips, and you can't just, you can do style lines, but it's going to be super fitted. You're going to be a lot more comfortable with extra fabric. So they add a pleat in the back of men's dress shirt, usually right below the yoke, so that from the shoulder to the hip line, it just doesn't squeeze you too much and gives you wiggle room, but keeping it nice and fitted where you need it to fit at the upper torso, where it flares at the bottom of the torso, towards the hip area. So, yeah. Felicia is focused, and good job, Felicia. Oh, I feel like I'm all over the place. Thank you. Sounds like our character too. Super simply complicated. Yeah, no, that's how I describe menswear. It's super simply complicated. It's like so simple, but if you don't do it exactly right, it gets really complicated really fast. If you don't cut a tie at the 45-degree angle on the bias, it's gonna start twirling. And you're like, why doesn't my tie lay straight? Because it's cut off grain. So men's clothing, super simply complicated. All right, I need to wrestle with more paper to get it flat so that I can take this paper that I just cut out and trace onto it. I'm gonna slice these first because I don't want to wrestle that paper yet. This is the slash and spread method. There's also the pivot method. There is the draping method. There's so many ways, but for this problem, this is how my brain is solving it. These lines don't even have to be straight. They could be curved. But see, I'm going to take them and spread them out, and it's not changing the length of this line right here. The shape is changing ever so slightly, and we'll clean that up, but that's where we're going. We're adding fullness evenly throughout this project as much as we can without You know what? I don't think I need to do this. Because of this armhole, I can't really slice it here. I thought I was going to be able to, but now that I have it tangibly down on paper, I see that's not going to work. So I'm going to take this up and then slice it here. If I slice it there, nope, I don't have room to do it in here. I'll just add extra on these sides as opposed to trying to add some fullness here. I'll just add it here and here. Okay, that's me talking it out. Take a deep breath. I'm going to rustle some paper and then we'll tape it all down and recut it out again. For some reason, when you're cutting with scissors, I hold my breath. It feels like I'm cutting and trying to be super careful. Yeah, I'm holding my breath too. Yeah. That one is. Okay. Now that I have giant paper, I need to I'm just going to pre-roll this so that I don't have to fight this curve. Sorry if it's loud. It's not the best ASMR. If it's a little crinkled, those crinkles help it lay flatter. And this is just paper. Danda's junk. Also, this needs to say part 7. I know, just copy pasted. It's perfect. The description says part 4 too. I just copy pasted. Yeah. Thank you. I will fix those. I appreciate it. Push this out of the way so I have some space to work. Not putting that by my computer, just not going to happen. Well, if it's empty, I don't have to worry about it still. Okay, paper. And before I start laying this down, I'm going to draw my grain line, my straight edge, my center back line. Okay. Now this edge is flat. All right. Pick a color, any color. I probably don't have it. Silly scent, fruit, rotten fruit. Let's do it. Ooh, it does smell like stinky feet. This is one of those silly scented markers, and it's rotten fruit. And it smells like it. Well, it smells like stinky feet to me. Okay, yeah. This one's too stinky. I'm going to pick a different marker color. Whew! This one smells like somebody needs to wash their feet. Plus, rotten fruit. How can that be a color? It's silly scents. You get the stinky markers. You know how they have the really good smelling markers? They also have a set of stinky markers. And of course, I bought both sets at the same time. So some smell really good, some smell really bad. And I have all, they're just, yeah. I like the pickle smelled marker. That one's surprisingly fun. This has no scent. We will go with this one. Whew. I thought like the rotten fruit would smell like a wine or something, you know? No, it smells like stinky feet. Husk. I didn't know stinky markers were a thing. Cool, or gross, but cool. Yeah, they have them at Target, or at least they did. It smells like stinky feet. Did this to myself and I can't even blame Toby. All right. I'm just gonna fold over the excess. If I had done that, I wouldn't have had to add that stupid pleat. Okay, so this line here where I have all the tape is still my center back line. So I have to mark it as such. My center fold line is this line here. So when I say center back, I'm talking about 2 inches over. When I'm saying center fold, I'm talking about the actual edge. So I'm gonna line this up. Dan just young. That's a really cool old bookcase. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? All my stuff looks nice and put together, put away. It's my markers. Okay. Nope, I have to go down. Already running out of space. Go here. All lined up. I'm just going to trace this. I'm not going to try and keep this all taped down because that's ridiculous. I like this tape because I can re-stick it. Lined up and lined up. I like that fullness. This is an art, not a science at the moment. I'm adding the fullness I think will look good. I know it's like a ½ inch here, ½ inch here. No, I'm adding, there's this flare here. I'm adding some more flare here, a little more here, a lot more there, and some more there. This part, and this part as we go around the body. I'm not adding it here because let's not mess with this. Don't want to mess with this. Armhole. The armhole works. I don't want to mess with it. Austin Lips. I am having DQ for lunch. The dress is looking good today, Felicia. Dairy Queen? Nice. been a while since I've had Dairy Queen. Although this dress kind of does give me ice cream cone vibes sometimes. Mas? Quito mas? Quito mas. Right there. Okay, and that's nice. Okay, now I'm just going to trace it using my French curve because it'll make things easier. There's my French curve. I dropped it right here. Oh, there it is. Number 17 French curve. These aren't straight lines. Well, this is a straight line. There's my straight edge for the straight lines, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to mark my pleats because I'm going to want to know where all these things are. This is my center back, my pleat. All right, and clean up that one in a sec. Just talking to myself. Now, I'm not going to fully mark the bottom. I'm going to kind of mark the bottom because I'm extending it about 4 inches. So I have room to tuck everything in, okay? Just make sure. I'm going to mark this as my side seam, that slit that I never actually did. Okay, now we can lace all this. I like to leave this taped together when I use actual pattern paper or my white butcher paper, but that doesn't film very well and you guys can't see it. And using this paper is just too bulky of a mess. So I'm going to put that in my pattern pile and work with this. Clean up some of my lines here. This is definitely a cut line. This is my pleat. My center back, center front. Side seam, don't cut out the side seam, but it's just reference points. Let me add the 4 inches, that's 1, 2, 3.5 inches. I don't want the full 4 inches. 2, 3, 4. I know, I just double check all the time because I'd rather count twice, measure twice, cut once, than run out of fabric. Make sure. Oops, I'm on a bump there. No wonder it doesn't look quite right. Oops. Okay. Now I have the added fullness. So I want this to be at the waist, but I also want it to blouse. That's why I added the fullness here. But it also has to go down to the waist, come up for that gather, and then go back down. So you have to take the full shape into account when you're figuring out your math. It's not just from shoulder to waistline. It's shoulder to waistline plus fold to tuck in. So that is why I added to my waistline. This hits exactly at the waist, but I want it to billow, and I have to account for the billowing. I added the flare, I added a pleat. I need to add seam allowance. This lovely ruler, which I absolutely hate because the markings disappear where the seam allowance spot is. It's just pink, but it's exactly 1/2 inch, so it makes it easy to do the seam allowances, but I do miss all the little extra lines that either got worn off or were never there in the first place. I have no idea at this point, but that is my gripe with this ruler, as much as I love it, and I love that it has seam allowances added for me. I'm going to be able to smoosh it. I can't add seam allowance here. I'm going to need seam allowance here. I can make it work, but this is annoying. I could cut it down, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Ooh, Dan Shrunk. I'll be working on Master Chief suit from Halo for my nephew-in-law. You have to think more about how to make it more fitted to him, taking your tips and advice into account. Yeah. The most important measurements is the bust, waist, hips, because that's going to be your circumferences, you know, and then shoulder to apex, apex to waist, shoulder to waist at side is going to be a helpful dimensional measurement. Shoulder to shoulder, imperative if you want the armor to fit to you. And I feel like with those measurements, you could really at least get a box of shape. You can go from there. But if it's too wide on the shoulders, that's where you're going to have a lot of issues, or too narrow in the shoulders, you're going to have a lot of issues. Good luck with that. That's exciting. I love Master Chief. That one is definitely something fun to be made out of foam. Could you imagine running around in metal armor like that? Anyways, when you have to make practical superhero costumes, reality just goes out the window. Did this one skit for Smosh, superheroes in real life, and I had to come up with, boy, that was a tough one. Like a cool superhero costume for Shane that was magnetized so we could rip it off using fishing lines. So when they played the footage back together, it snapped in place. But just coming up with the concepts of like where you need joints and where the arm is going to be and still making it functional. Like, this is foam. How are people going to move in that? Like, I get the Knights of the Round Table, and I've held the chainmail and armor and stuff. It's just, ninjas make more sense to me. I guess I'm more of a ninja style. And then also in that same skit, I had to do Courtney as the female superhero who only had lingerie basically to wear as her superhero garb. And how ridiculous it is. It's like, oh. But honestly, Wonder Woman's outfit makes sense because she's mobile. It's a gymnastics leotard, you know? And she is bulletproof. She has her little bracers, but again. Okay. Added seam allowance. Added 4 inches. Do I want to add seam allowances to the hem? I can always trim it down. Yeah, I'm going to add it to the hem. And then in the inside of the armhole. Nope. Actually, no, it goes here. Okay. Seam allowance here. Yes, video games are different despite it being meant for humans to wear. Video games, superhero costumes, cartoon characters. It all makes sense and I get it. But just as somebody who has multiple, well, my entire career having to create these costumes, it's definitely a fun challenge. And I do think about the actual fightability of outfits as I create them. It is on my thought. It is part of my thought process. How would the bag? Yeah, they're not going to move. Or, you know, this is pretty mobile. I'm surprised, you know. I could do a cartwheel in this outfit. Can't lift my arms in that one. But that one looks cooler. Okay. Okay, seam allowance has been added. I've got my wiggle room in. Okay. And time to pull it all out again. All right, hold your breath. Inhale on the placement, exhale on the execution. Breathing exercises for cutting. Come on up. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Hi. How are you doing? You doing good? Wait, I gotta use this. I'm no fun right now. He knows I'm thinking about not him. Okay. Let's see what I've done. Normally I wait to cut this out of fabric or muslin, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna throw it up here. Let me adjust that camera screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. Trim that. Okay. You guys can see my pattern versus the original shape. Okay. So this is what shape it is. The center back. Just fold this nicely. I am just pre-folding in my pleat. So this fabric is going to sew and fit here. Fit all the way around that armhole. So center front, this. Okay, look at all this extra fullness. It is the same shape, but all this can get gathered into the waistband. Paper doesn't want it gathered, but that is, you can see how the ice cream cone is holding its shape and how the fabric is draped around the edges, and the goal is for it to straight a grain. So it's going to have this much extra fullness all the way around that's going to gather into this waist and tuck in. Looking it on the screen versus in real life helps me think of what I'm doing. Remember, this is all going to be drapey fabric, so it's not crunchy like this, and it's all going to gather into the waistline. I've added a little bit in the front, but I don't hate it. I actually really like how it's distributed evenly. The armhole still lines up perfectly. This whole back piece lines up perfectly. And see this in the back? It goes straight down, but you have this extra fabric in here, like the pleat on the back of the dress shirt. So it's hidden in there, but there's extra fullness in that too. That was the hardest part. So now I plan on today cutting out my fabric. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that on the live stream because this table is not big enough. I kind of have to sprawl out to cut my fabric. Yeah, there's no way. It's going to get crazy. So I'm really going to power through this once the fabric's cut out, though. So how are you guys doing? Huss, cool, looking great. It's totally different when you set it up. I know, right? These weird pattern pieces and it's puzzle pieces. I'm building a puzzle. Husk, I never realized how multi-dimensional clothing is. So many layers for different looks. It's amazing. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it really is. Somebody asked me about one of the most intricate or crazy dresses I've made. And it's not one of the craziest, but I just looked over and I have my measuring tape dress right here. I just gotta show you guys real quick. I didn't take into account on the seam allowances, so it was like, yeah. Okay. Boy. And this over here. What is all this? Oh yeah, it's gonna do that. Oh, look at this thing. It's been a while since I pulled it out. This is a dress made out of entirely measuring tapes. I like this zipper in the back. Okay, it's not entirely measuring tapes. I put a zipper in the back. Isn't this thing so much fun? I love it. That one was pretty intricate and complicated, but simple at the same time. And this was in the same collection. It's called All Pinned Together, and yes, it's stabby. Those pins I put there on purpose. But this is the back. This is the front. And no, this isn't the dress that I'm wearing in the description video, but I love this red. Look at colors. Where's that pink? I need to show you the pink with this red. Just all the colors, just messing with the, love it. Anyways, distraction. Dan is junk. That's perfect to wear while crafting. Yeah. That's a really red. Yes, I know. And it's a stretch satin and has a good weight to it. I love that fabric. Yeah, it's a great red. Okay. I am going to cut out the last piece of my skirt. Not fabric, but the card that I'm going to line it with so I can get that third swirl in. And then I'm going to try and cut out fabric today, but I really need to get that cut out so I can even see if I can. Let me show you guys what the skirt is one more time. This is not this one's skirt. This is the pink one's skirt. The blue one has a different skirt. This one's going to be the blue one. I should name it. But I have a skirt. The plan is no actual closures. I want this to be a spiral. Wait. Yes, but the plan is to have a third layer in that spiral. Give it a real cartoon Jetsons look. I might not have enough velvet for the spiral. May not be the end of the world, but this is the skirt so far. Fun, isn't it? I feel like a paper doll. I definitely do. Yeah. And it is just pinned together with safety pins. See? I didn't even tape it. Now it's a volcano. Okay. This is my giant C is for cookie. Now this isn't a symmetrical shape by any means of the imagination. It is a spiral shape. So this part's curved, but that part's straight so that they all kind of stack on top of each other, and then the waist. Patterning spirals. Yeah. There's definitely a right side and a wrong side, and I'm going to have to mark them and go through and make sure that I have enough fabric with lefts and rights and backs and forths and seam allowance. Okay. Austin lives, I'm back. I'm stuffed. I had ice cream. What did I miss so far? I finished patterning this bodice. I haven't cut it out of fabric, but I know what I'm going to cut out of fabric now. So we have a pattern. We have structure and support figured out. Oh, look at, I love how my side seam is straight up and down where it needs to be. Things lining up makes me happy. It means that I'm doing it right, because when the puzzle pieces like fit together and they click, you know you did it right. If you're forcing them, maybe you should go back and figure out if it is even the right shape. All right. this part out so I get rid of as much bulk as I can. Damn, this junk. Gonna be crazy. Can't wait to see the finished outfit. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, but I really, really like the way the skirt's coming out. I'm loving the spiral. Like, I've patterned this skirt so many different ways. Some better than others, but this one is just so much fun. I really do feel like a paper doll. Part 2 character. And yes, this has to be cut out perfectly. Yeah, I can't cut fabric on this live stream. I don't have the space. I'm going to sprawl out. My little brother's coming over later. Maybe I can get him to help me cut. No, we'll sit and talk. Not top. How many pairs of scissors do you think you have? That is a very good question. I bought 30 pairs of cute printed scissors from the dollar store. Those were the ones that I gave away for Christmas presents. And I gave at least 15 away. So I know I have 15 unopened packages of paper scissors that are cute and printed. So we're not even going to count those, but I have those. And some are randomly open in my collection. I have 2 pairs of nice gainers. One pair that I got when I was in college and just starting fashion school, and one pair that I got from the bridal shop. Let me get the circle out of the way. And I have these 2 pairs of scissors, which are my workhorses. This one goes like fabric, just leather, 12 layers of fabric. This thing is going to cut through it. This is 12 layers of cardboard foam or whatever. Titanium scissors are my absolute favorite because you can use and abuse them and they'll still be sharp. I will not use and abuse my fabric scissors because I know better, and I absolutely hate picking up a pair of scissors and them not cutting. Last night I had this pair and it wouldn't cut plastic. It wouldn't open the box. It was just like, why do I have these scissors? I should just throw them away. But I did have scissors that I had to dull. So anyways, those are the scissors that I care about. And now just counting the ones I have in general, I have a drawer full of scissors. I have my thing full of scissors here, and I have some scissors upstairs, and then there's some in there. So I have over 100 pairs of scissors, I think, in this house currently. And if not 100, just about getting there. And I definitely hated never having scissors, or at least never having scissors that cut. Now that I'm a grown up and an adult, I spend my money accordingly. And sometimes quantity over quality makes a difference in scissors, because while scissors are brand new, even the cheap crappy ones cut really nicely. And then as they get used more and more, they dull and dull. But if you have a lot of crappy scissors that aren't really getting dulled all the time, it's not that bad. And then you don't feel guilty cutting cardboard, paper, plastic, packaging, because they're everywhere. The ones that are my nice ones, those are put away where they're not easily available. But I have a drawer full of scissors in my kitchen, scissors in my crafting room, and then there's just some upstairs at the desk. in my old house, in my old kitchen, I used to make sure that I had a pair of scissors in every drawer in the kitchen. So, or actually every drawer in the house. So if I opened a drawer, there'd be a pair of scissors. The thing is like sometimes some of the drawers would have no scissors, and some of the drawers would have like 10 pairs. But I really like being able to open a drawer and having a pair of scissors. It's a bit excessive, but tools in my trade. Dan does fun. I actually do have scissors in every room when I think about it. Yeah. Need them in the kitchen. You can open all the packaging. Need them for the Amazon packages. Need them. I don't know. I like scissors. In design school, I designed this bodice out of the aluminum metal sheeting that you put on the roof. I had a pair of scissors that were Cutco scissors. They could cut pennies, and I used them to cut that aluminum, and I had this design all mapped out of this crazy bodice I was going to make out of metal. And my teacher convinced me that that wasn't a good idea and that I should do it out of something else instead. So I tried vinyl, and I sprayed it to look metallic, but vinyl and spray paint are not friends. And it never dried. And so I put in a lot of effort for a sticky thing that just... Anyways, and now I kind of want to revisit it, but those scissors were the best, and I can't find those scissors. The Cutco penny cutting scissors. Those were my favorite pair. I don't know if they cut fabric or what, but they cut pennies, and that's impressive. All right, here's my swirl. I'm going to do this side up because it has my markings. I know it's going around, but this is a spiral, so it's not the worst. Okay. It's okay, I'm only live. All right. Right here. This is my seam allowance, and this is my straighter side. Then this side. This side's my seam allowance. So I have to continue the swirl, and like I said, the pieces aren't symmetrical. So if I try and put this piece on here, it's not going to line up. If I line it up, see, this is my piece. This is how much it's off on both sides, but it matches up on the circle. Again, not a symmetrical pattern piece, so I have to be very cognizant of how this all fits together. It's not that way. Here we go. Now it lines up. Now my donut's full. Let me grab some bigger safety pins than that. Oh, it's almost been 2 hours. Okay. Well, when this is finished, I think I'll wrap up this live stream. and then cut out the fabric. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that live. It's just too bulky and too big, and I have to sprawl out. Danda's junk. Next up, mini fridge in every room. I'll get ants. That's how I get ants. Plus, I need to escape my projects and rooms to go to the kitchen. But I like the way you think. Austin Lips. I was watching a video on YouTube. Simon something made a scissor made of metal and eye giant, and she had to put on her wall, and hey, they can cut paper. Giant scissors, I would love them. Yes, I had giant fake scissors and I loved them. So line this all up. I think it's more important that I'm lined up in the center. Is that really? I'm second guessing myself. Nope, I'm right. Yeah. Right there. Okay. Just making sure I'm all lined up. My aunt was a seamstress, and in her house there would be needles everywhere. My uncle was always complaining that he would get poked constantly. Yeah. I often get the same complaints. At the bridal shop, we had a magnetic bar on wheels. My dad also had one at the farm. He's a mechanic. Still a lot of his magnet stuff, but we would go over and pick up all the pins and needles, but they still get caught in the carpet. I'm not allowed to sew in bed because I lose needles in the bed all the time. I don't stab myself. I never step on my own pins, but everybody else around me, poor people. I get it. But at least magnets are my friend. They help me. Okay. Lined up. All right. I got the full 3 swirls. So let's see if it's what I was picturing. I just pinned it together. Don't want to rip the paper. Don't worry, we're only live. Yeah, I gotta get out of my way. Little girl. Yeah. I wanted the full 3 circles. Oh, that's too much fun. What's this guy doing? I need some space. So this will be my back right here, because this is the least cutest part of it. Although, where is it? Okay, there you go. But this is the plan, the full 3 swirls. I don't know. Is 3 swirls so much better than the 2? I don't know if it is or isn't. I'm going to try for it, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to cry. But this is the plan. No closures, just spiral. Hi, Bruno. How are you doing? What do you think? No, that's not yours. Bruno was going to jump up on the chair, and then he saw my skirt and was like, no, I'm going to get hit. Yeah. I definitely like the layers going on here. I like how it's full flared out. and spin like a ballerina. Yeah, I think this in pink velvet is going to be awesome and fun. All right. I wonder if the easier way to get out of it is just, oh, look at, I'm learning. The pattern pieces are doing what I was imagining. It makes me happy. Let me put this down. And I have all of this lovely pink velvet. And it's not quite enough to do full 3 layers. It's like 1 circle shy. I probably can't see it, but I went through and I drew on my seam, my pieces with orange on the back, and it's washable to just kind of really try and fit them in there. I'm trying. I want to get the full 3 in the velvet without having to go to the fabric store again, because I already, like, I thought I overbought and I didn't. Okay. Come up closer. Stay, Barbie. Oh, that's Kira. Barbie's over there. Hey, Bruno, do you need outside? Is that what's going on? Yeah, that is. Okay. I like the layers. Very cool. Thank you. I do like the layers. Bruno says, you're wearing it wrong. It goes around your neck. He's wondering why I have the cone on shame and why I'm so shamefully wearing it wrong. Austin Lips. Yep, magnets helps me. I'm in a wheelchair and it makes me pick up stuff when it's metal. They are very good. Yes, magnets. This is, my grandma bought this for my dad, who's a mechanic, and he uses it for nuts and bolts, and I totally stole it from him. I've given him new ones, but I love that grandma gave this to my dad. It makes me very, very happy. And I just love this thing. Look at the chaos that's not on the floor, that is on the magnet. You know? Not top. Do you ever have to plan on designs around how you need to transport the outfits? Yes. That one crazy cone bra with the 4-foot cones, that had to be shipped to the middle of America somewhere. I don't exactly know, but the photo shoot wasn't like a plane ride away. It wasn't even that we could see if we could get somebody to transport it. It was like it had to go on a plane. But I had designed it before I ever knew it was going. Kind of knew, but I didn't really know. Also, it was what was requested. Hi, Bruno. And we ended up shipping that in a Rubbermaid Christmas tree container. But yes, very much yes. How are we going to get there? Do you need to wear it? Like, are you going to be able to fit in a car? Are you going to have to put it on when you get there? Yeah, there's a yes, yes, and yes, and yes. And yeah. Danda's junk. I have one of those trades. I need more. Yeah, I need one for my wrist. I really do. I'm just gonna this so I'm not like looking straight up. It's so high up there. You can be the star, Bruno. Yes, magnets help. I think that's all I'm gonna do on the live stream today. Yeah, but this project, I'm really trying to get it done like this week, next week tops. Like it's there is a model lined up waiting on me at this point. The photo shoot, I believe, has been scheduled. I have to go look at the date, but I'm afraid to see it. But yeah, so this project's almost finished. I got the hardest part down, the patterning. Because it's like you have nothing to show because I'm still building it in my head. It's still in the pattern phase. I need to get the pattern pieces out. The actual construction, that's not the boring part, but that's the part, like I can chop through that. I know how to do that. I can just turn my mind off and sew and do it. But the patterning phase is like, it's where I really chew on the project. And it's probably the part that takes me the longest on a project is figuring it out what I'm going to do. Yeah. So I'm probably not gonna go live Saturday or Sunday. I'm gonna be on Odin's live stream on this Sunday. As far as I know, weather hasn't been, it's been crazy, but I don't know if Odin's been called in. I'll probably know later today when I check in. But as of right now, I'm gonna be on Odin Makes live stream noon to 2, well, 11:45 or 11 something for Patreon members, but I have that coming up. And then after this project's over, I want to try and do a dissection series where I'm going to dissect a man's suit from the tie, shirt, jacket, pants. I'm going to take a seam ripper and I am going to rip it apart. And we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about why they do the weird things that they do, how the solutions to problems that you come around. And that's kind of my plan for what's coming up. Let me know your guys' opinions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever. Turn on the bell notifications. I'll probably be going live on Monday because I have time on Monday. I might even go in the afternoon. Keep. It may be in the morning, but I don't think I'm gonna go in the evening. So turn on your notifications if you want to be notified for that. But yeah, and you'll see how much I got done or didn't get done over the weekend, but I plan on getting all the fabric cut out, hopefully today. So there's no knock on wood, but oh, there we go, knock on wood. Just make sure I get everything. We'll see if I get it done. Awesomeness. Goodbye. Have to go shower. See you again. Okay. Bye. Go take a shower. Go get clean. Have a nice day. Everybody have a great time. I am out of here. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, end the stream.